we got the Coke. And today we are looking at this ginormous knife. This is the ZT308. Let's get it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Minimalist. My name is Brandon, and today we are checking out the ZT308. What an enormous knife. Before we drop into this knife and my overall impressions, if you guys enjoy EDC and knife content, feel free to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon. I post a video once or twice a week, so that way you guys have plenty of content to go through. Here's the ZT308, guys. So this was sent out by my friend Jake over at Bearded Gear. I'll leave his YouTube and Instagram channels in the description below. So guys, go check out his review on the 308 and then all of his other content. He makes some really good stuff. Let's give you guys some quick specifications with the 308. So the overall length, you're looking at about 8.875 inches long. The blade length is about 3.7 inches long. The close length, you're looking at about 5 inches in total length, and then it weighs about 7 ounces. Looking at the blade itself, you've got 20 CV steel. It's got a drop point style blade with a flat grind and a stonewash finish. And then for the handle materials, you've got this brown/tan G10 scale up front on the show side. And then on the locking side, you've got a titanium frame lock. Jake did upgrade the pocket clip to an Adam Purvis custom clip, so that's actually pretty sweet. And then with the lock bar, you do have a lock bar insert there. ZT is actually really good at doing that with most of their models. So now that we've got all the specs put away, let's go ahead and talk about the negatives and positives with this knife. And then the first negative, I bet you guys can guess it. It's gonna be the overall size with this thing. So it is just ginormous. Completely different from what I'm used to. To give you guys a quick example, here is my ProTech Malibu next to the 308. Just absolutely enormous, and it's about double the size. It really did weigh down in my pocket, and as you guys know, I do wear a lot of athletic shorts and basketball shorts. It literally dragged down my pants. I actually did wear a pair of jeans just to carry this thing, and with jeans, it was perfect. So the next thing on the list would be this pocket clip placement. I wish they did go for a full-blown deep carry type of clip in that sense. This thing is not terrible, but you know, I just wish it was a little bit higher up. The next negative on the list would pretty much be with a lot of the frame locks. So I actually had a lot of difficulty getting this thing deployed because I would put my middle finger here on the lock bar on accident, and it is really hard. So I found myself to the point where I would have to watch myself and make sure that my middle finger was off of that lock bar in order to get this guy deployed. And then the last thing on the list would be this tan G10 scale up front. I'm not a huge fan of having different colors on my scales, so that's something I would see if they had like an aftermarket option. I'm pretty sure this is the only color that the 308 comes in. Aside from that, that would be all the negatives. Let's go ahead and talk about the positives. The first thing that really caught my attention when I first unboxed it was the action. So the action on this guy is absolutely ridiculous once you get your hand placement down. It just fires out like a rocket, and it slaps with authority. I believe this guy does operate off of bearings, so it is going to be pretty drop shot friendly. Not like the best of the best, but it gets there. So the deployment does attract a ton of attention. I did wear this into the office and then used it a couple times. As a matter of fact, I was opening up a box for my PC setup at work, and I did this, and everyone just looked at me, everyone shut up, and it was kind of an awkward situation. So I mean, if you want to carry this thing, make it so that you capture everyone's attention, then yeah, carry this thing. It's huge and it slaps. The detent on it is pretty interesting. It does take a little bit more force than what I'm used to, and that's probably why it fires out so fast. That's not something that's a negative. I feel like it has like the perfect detent for this size of a blade. So now with the titanium frame lock, this guy actually makes a really satisfying sound. So that click is just really, really satisfying. I think the action is literally the #1 best selling feature of this knife. The next positive would be ergonomics. I feel like I could just completely go through anything and chop or baton a piece of wood, bring it camping, and do whatever the hell I wanted with it and not have any issues. And it does have a very forward type of grip, so it's a good knife in terms of ergonomics. There are no hot spots within the knife itself. I mean, maybe a little bit on that pocket clip, but this is an aftermarket pocket clip. You do see that they did go with some jimping on the spine of the blade here at the top, which I think that's perfect. It's not too rough, but it does get the job done. Let's talk about my carrying experience. So again, guys, this thing is huge. I wear shorts and sweat shorts. You guys all know that. I know that. Basically, when I was wearing, basketball shorts, this thing would weigh my pocket down a lot. You gotta know that I carry, smaller to medium-sized knives, and having something like this is just ginormous. That was not very delightful. I caught myself actually wearing a pair of jeans, and I put this in the pocket, and that's kind of like the best route to go about this. If you wear jeans, if you wear thicker type of cargo pants, this thing wouldn't be a problem. In terms of the cutting edge, this thing slices like crazy. I did some box processing, nothing too crazy. If you guys want to see Jake batoning this, just go to his channel. Go check out that. He was literally just batoning a piece of wood. It's still on the factory edge. He hasn't done any maintenance to it, and it still is hair popping sharp, which I was actually really surprised because I just messaged him. I was like, hey dude, did you do anything to this? Is this the factory edge? And he's just like, yeah, I haven't touched it whatsoever. When I was cutting that cardboard, I was just like, this feels like it's brand spanking new. After seeing his video of him batoning it, I was just really surprised. So the last question would be, would I buy this knife? And to be honest with you guys, I was looking online and they were going for about $280 to about $300. I don't think I could bring myself to spend that much money on a knife that is this large. I already have my Cold Steel 4MAX Scout, and this is a complete beater. I use this thing to process boxes, to cut zip ties, and whatever heavy task I need to do with a big knife. But I think this would be great if you are someone that likes to go and carry a large knife, if you are an outdoors type of guy. This thing feels reliable. Like, you can literally do whatever the hell you want. If you want to skin a deer, if you want to chop wood, more so outdoor tasks. It's not really built for EDC. But for me personally, I definitely would not pick this up just because it does not fit in my rotation. Here is the ZT308. There are all my impressions of it. Again, guys, go ahead and follow Jake on his socials. So whether it's here on YouTube or his Instagram, again, the links will be in the description below. He's become a pretty close friend of mine. I really appreciate it if you guys would show him some support. If you guys enjoyed this knife content, go ahead, throw me a thumbs up. If you disliked it, throw me a thumbs down, and I promise to you I will do better next time. If you guys want to see some awesome pictures of knives and other EDC gear, go to my Instagram. I will leave that in the description below so you guys can follow me there. Thank you guys so much for dropping by, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.